With the Odyssey now less than a month away, I wanted to stop and rank all 12 Christopher Nolan films. Now, this is something that I've been putting off for a long time just because all of his movies are so great, and I truly believe that he doesn't have any bad films. But with that being said, let's get into it. At number 12, Insomnia, a perfectly fine, solid thriller, but it feels like the least Nolan film to me, and it's one that I find myself revisiting very less. At number 11, I have Oppenheimer. I know this is a huge hot take. I think this is a brilliant cinematic and technical achievement. I think the practical effects, the direction, the score by Ludwig Göransson are great. However, I do think that the first two acts are much better than the final act, which loses a bit of momentum for me. At number 10, I have Batman Begins. Now, I think Batman Begins is the perfect origin story for Batman. I love Nolan's take on this sort of gritty Gotham, and I just really like the entire tone of this film. At number 9, I have The Dark Knight Rises. I think this is quite massively underrated. I know a lot of people like to poke at its plot holes, but I think overall, this is a great character study on Bruce Wayne who rises above adversity. At number 8, I have Tenet. Now, this is massively underrated. By literally naming the main character the protagonist, I think Nolan leaves himself room to explore the concept of inversion to its full extent. And I think he really does execute this entire plot with sheer brilliance. At number 7, I have Inception. I think Inception is one of the most original blockbusters ever made. It's pretty accessible, endlessly rewatchable, and the score elevates every single scene. At number 6, I have The Prestige. Prestige, in my opinion, is a fascinating story about rivalry and obsession. I think Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale are great in it, and I think the twist is still one of Nolan's bests. Number 5, I have The Dark Knight. This is a movie that feels less like a superhero film to me and more like a crime thriller. I think Heath Ledger obviously delivers a great performance, and so does the rest of the cast. At number 4, I have Following. Now, this is probably my hottest take. I think it's simple, low budget, and incredibly impressive, especially with what Nolan was able to do with such little budget. At number 2, I have Dunkirk. Now, Dunkirk feels less of a movie to me and more of an experience. I think the sound design, especially the use of a Shepard tone, which constantly allows us to feel like there's rising tension, the relentless pacing, just make it feel like one giant third act and a great experience to watch, especially in IMAX. But number one, for anyone who knows me, I have Interstellar. Interstellar is my favorite movie of all time. The visuals, the music, the emotion, it's all there. And I love rewatching this every single year. So that was my ranking for all 12 Christopher Nolan films. I know there are a couple hot takes in there, so let me know your ranking down in the comments.